And welcome back to the And Go podcast for Top 10 Tuesday. This week, by viewer request, Dave, you know who you are, we're going to be doing our top 10 upcoming games that we're so excited for.
Woo!
And go, guys.
I don't have too many, so I'll just kind of throw mine out there. Diablo 4, number one on my list.
Of course.
It seems like they took the feedback of, first of all, we don't want another mobile game, so glad they listened to that. And then they also took the feedback of, or they seem to be taking the feedback of Diablo 3 being too cartoony, so it looks like they're getting back to a more washed out color palette and some darker themes for us adults, so pretty excited about that. I don't have a release date for it, though.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of release dates for mine.
But that's the first one that came to my mind.
There's Baldur's Gate 3, which doesn't have a release date, I believe.
I didn't know that was coming out. I'm excited about that, too.
It's tentative, I believe.
What else?
I mean, I got to be honest. I feel like video games are suffering from the same problem Hollywood is right now. Everything just seems to be a remake or a remaster or another sequel. But there's a few in there that I'm kind of excited about. I mean, they have announced another Fallout. No release date was given yet. I think it's kind of probably we're going to be at least a year out, maybe two. But they did announce they're doing another one.
Elder Scrolls has a tentative release date, from what I know, for its 6.
Okay. There's a couple of shooters. The Last of Us 2 was probably the one coming up here most recent that I'm excited about. I really did like the first one.
Yeah,
I heard it got pushed again. I heard I think they pushed the release date. They haven't set a new release date for it yet.
No, it's supposed to be May, I think.
Something
and
like
they
that.
said because of the COVID stuff, they're going to push it off.
Yes, I thought we could talk a little bit about that because I did read that a lot of games are getting pushed because of COVID.
Yeah.
Is that why the summer schedule was so sad when I looked at outcoming games?
I mean, it makes sense. Top to bottom, I'm sure it's creating problems with shipping and with of course retailers are mostly closed. So.
For sure. Advertising.
Yeah.
Bill, GameStop is going down because of this, probably.
Good.
They were already going down, but
we're
that's
not looking
a side point.
I was glad for the friends I made, but man, I hate that company.
Talking about hyped Hollywood style games, we got Cyberpunk 2077. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I mean, who can hate that man? It looks like a good game also. It looks like the DX or what was that series?
Watch Dogs? It kind of reminds me of Watch Dogs in a way.
Watch Dogs never interests me. I think they have a new entry coming out, but I never played any Watch Dogs. That whole series, it just didn't interest me.
Sure.
That was definitely on my list too.
Watch Dogs?
Excited about that. No, Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm excited. I'm a little annoyed. I hear it's only going to be like a third of the game, and that's the only
Did
part
they confirm that?
I don't want to look too much into it. I'm thinking this pretty much confirmed, and it annoys me, but I still might buy the game as soon as it comes out.
That's kind of BS if that's the case. It
might cause me to wait until they announce the date for this second part, I guess, but I'm still excited about the remake, the whole story. We're going to go into that on the podcast, but thought I'll just throw it in there for now.
Yeah, so how does that work? So do you have to buy each chapter or whatever of the remake?
Frankly, it just annoys me so much when I heard that rumor. I don't want to look into it anymore. It's one of those things, the more you look into it, the more exhausted you get to it. I'd just rather focus on the positive. I can still go play Final Fantasy VII, even though I was more of a Final Fantasy VIII guy, but that's that. Another one that looks good, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It looks really good. I'm excited for that one. Might not get it right away. I hear it's a really good RPG that holds up with the sort of Skyrim, Bethesda RPGs lineage, but I haven't played any, but this new one looks good.
Okay. Speaking of remasters, Command and Conquer apparently is getting a remaster. I think a lot of the series is going to be redone. So I'm excited to see which ones they actually redo and what it ends up looking like.
I mean, it's got to be Red Alert 2, right? That had to be the most popular one.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, the whole series. They have Einstein as the poster boy for Red Alert.
That's just something that kind of popped up when I was looking around. I was like, oh, sweet.
Oh, 61 days away, yeah. Ew, it's going to be on EA, though.
Oh, Origin.
Fucking Origin, yeah.
Oh, my wife
I still get it.
Been playing The Sims and like Sim City. And I'm like, oh, I hate EA. They make some good products, but that's just because they bought everything the fuck up. BioWare is under EA now. They have mixed results, so.
So I know Westwood was the, I guess, developer originally, right? Wasn't Sierra the publisher? We were talking about this last night. And I thought Sierra Games factored into the Command & Conquer franchise somewhere. Maybe I'm misremembering that.
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, let's not delude this podcast with that. Does anyone have any other ones? Because I actually looked into the indie scene, and I actually found a few games that looked interesting.
This Disintegration looked like it might be good. It's kind of a RTS and first-person shooter mashed together. Depending on how that ends up playing out, looks like it's pretty good. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah, I saw one called Wastelanders 3 that looked like the original Fallout series, but not pre-Bethesda Fallout series.
Okay.
I would look into it. I haven't played any of the games, but looking at some of these indie games, like 12 Minutes was an interesting concept. It's basically just a time loop. You play as a couple in a small apartment, and an intruder breaks in and basically messes shit up. I think the wife gets killed, and you play the husband, and you keep living these 12 minutes over and over again. It looked interesting from the trailer.
That was depressing.
Well, so was Disco Elysium, but it was still a highly rated game.
I got a couple more. Valorant. I'm kind of interested in Valorant. It's supposed to combine the shooting of Counter-Strike with like a team or like a class-based. It's like a class-based shooter from Relic.
Okay, got it.
That could be interesting.
Like Borderlands kind of thing or something, or
yeah, kind of like Borderlands mixed with Overwatch mixed with Counter-Strike is kind of the impression that I get.
Okay.
So that could be fun.
It sounds like the Battlefield games where you have different classes with different equipment loads.
Yeah, which reminds me, I'm supposed to download Rainbow Six Siege. Doom Eternal. I know a lot of people are pumped about Doom Eternal.
Yeah, but it's not upcoming.
Is that already out? Oh,
yep.
Oops.
Look on the internet, you can find plenty of Let's Plays, plenty of reviews.
Naruto Shippuden. Sounds like a joke because I'm not a big anime guy, but I liked the Naruto fighting games.
Oh, okay. I never got into it, even though I'm an anime person. I tried them. I'm like, standard fighting.
Yeah, if I find it on sale, I'll probably pick it up.
Understand.
Now, I'm confused. I thought The Outer Worlds was out. Maybe just not on PC yet?
Yeah, it has a Switch release.
Oh, speaking of Switch, the new Zelda, they announced Breath of the Wild 2, right?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I did not see a drop date for it, though.
All right, what else? You said you had some indie picks, Brian?
Well, one sort of early access that looked more conceptual. It was called Into the Water. Basically, you're a xenobiologist. It's very minimalistic style. You go through like a little oval, and it looks interesting, but it's early access. Does that count? You can play it now. So it's not really upcoming. It's just early access.
That counts as an upcoming game.
And another indie game that really jumped out to me was something called Eastward, however you say that. It's basically, I think it's from the trailer, it looked like an action RPG, but it has sort of the Earthbound feel to it. They're trying to capture that Earthbound market. It looked good, but I couldn't tell what it was entirely. Probably won't make the list, but might be worth throwing into honorable mentions because I definitely will look into it when it comes out.
I like it. Oh yeah, it's on this list too. Bill, what else you got?
Oh, is it my turn to be interrupted and ignored? Okay. Let's see. Rainbow Six Quarantine. I've always been a fan of the Rainbow Six series.
Sounds interesting. I'm assuming it's another shooter?
Yeah, it looks interesting. I think it's supposed to be like a 3 or 4 person like team based, and it's kind of got I think some sort of zombie feel or something to it. Looked pretty good. Little trailers for it and whatnot.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of Siege, but for the most part, I enjoy the Rainbow Six games.
Yeah. I used to play the ones on Xbox 360 a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of shooters from Xbox 360, I think they're redoing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about how that was either as an honorable mention or something on our list of games of the last decade, I think.
Yeah, I think it did end up being an honorable mention.
So, yeah, they're getting ready to remaster that and I guess re-release it.
The game called Boyfriend Dungeon.
That reminds me of Catherine, but that's just going to get a re-release, the full body release, probably for Switch.
A full body re-release? That remaster is full bodied, baby.
They call it because they add another girl to the love triangle. I'm an Atlas Shin Megami guy, so speaking of that, Persona 6, I don't think I brought that up. Again, that's sort of like Fallout 6. They announced that they're working on it. But, sorry, Persona is the only thing that really Shin Megami has anymore. I mean, can you guys think of anything? Probably not.
No, yeah.
That's more my spear.
Yeah.
The turn-based Pokemon, edgy Pokemon style games.
Edgy Pokemon.
It's basically what it is. The Shin Megami Tensei series is basically Pokemon for adults. Because you have elemental weaknesses. It's just, instead of one Pokemon versus another Pokemon, you have a group of Pokemon. Sometimes they are in human form.
Do they admit that they're like slaves that you're forced to fight and injure themselves and others?
No, they're demons in this, okay? They don't have that moral implication because they're either the players or they're demons. Who cares if you have a demon slave or pet? Who really cares? Yeah. If they weren't...
It does clean it up a bit, doesn't it, right? It's all right, they're demons.
They're demons. Who cares? They don't have
Demon
that
slaves.
Moral ambiguity of Pokemon.
Super Meat Boy Forever. I think there are people that like the Meat Boy series.
Meat Man? What?
Super Meat Boy Forever. And apparently the publisher is called Team Meat. I'm looking through this list of publishers, and there's some pretty funny ones in here.
Okay. Publishers sometimes have some good names. How much do we have for the list before we keep on going on?
Spike Chunsoft is another publisher name. We have, let's see, I'm going to run through Diablo 4, Cyberpunk, Last of Us 2, the new Fallout game, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 3 I threw on there.
I mean, I guess it's out now, but yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it came out a few days ago. Yesterday, actually, I think.
Well, I hope everyone's supportive of Resident Evil 3 coming out. Disintegration, Breath of the Wild 2, Valorant, Into the Water, Eastward, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Persona 6. So I wasn't counting. I see you were, Brian. How many are we at?
At least 16.
1, 2, 3, 4.
2 of those are out. We can throw them on honorable mention since they're out.
Yeah, so Resident Evil's out. I'll put that over here. And what else was
Doom
out? Doom Eternal. Right. All right. Are there any like rhythm games coming out? I haven't played a good rhythm game in a while.
It's because they sort of died off, Mike.
They did kind of die off, didn't they? I'm cheating and looking at a list to see if there's anything else on here that...
You think if we didn't see it on the first pass through, you'll find it in this during the podcast recording, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. Recently announced in the last day, the best game ever is coming out, and you missed it on your list.
Oh, Hades is going to get a full release later this year. I know a lot of
Explain
friends.
Hades to us.
It's like an action RPG, hack and slash. You run through. You're like the nephew of Poseidon or something, and you have to clear out different dungeons. I watched a friend of mine play it a couple weeks ago, and it looked pretty fun. It's very stylized. Bill will hate this. It's almost like a cell shaded kind of a thing.
Damn you,
but good. I don't know.
shaded.
Yeah.
I thought it looked good. I'm gonna put it on the list just to have it there. There's a Samurai Jack game coming out apparently. I would play that.
You would, Mike. You would.
I really would. Bendy and the Dark Revival. Okay.
No, I disagree with any game that gets popular with Let's Players. That was one of them.
Bendy?
The original Bendy, at least.
Bendy and the Ink Machine. What a great.
Oh, is there a new Five Nights at Freddy's that's coming out, Mike? Should we put that on the list too? For viewers at home, I just looking at Mike's face right now is priceless.
Yeah, I'm a simple man. I don't really stay in tune with Crusader Kings 3. I guess I don't know. No people like it.
We want everyone to be included, but I think we got enough for you're trying to get us to a top 20 list, Mike?
No, I wanted to make sure everything was covered. That's all.
Okay.
All right, so you want to start ranking these then?
Yes.
So of the list, what is everyone's most anticipated game?
We're a bunch of Bethesda boys, so we're going to have to probably put either Elder Scrolls or Fallout 6 first. I mean, the unknown announcement date makes it a little skeptical for me, but I'll give you guys pistols and you can do a duel now. Fight!
Remember when we used to do that, Bill, with those prop guns that I had?
Yeah. I remember you fired that one with a blank in it.
Yeah.
And you about dropped the gun off the porch. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with Fallout 5.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's going to be up there for me.
Yeah.
Can't disagree with that. Bethesda, although they do have their missteps, Fallout 76. Overall, the main branch is good.
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate that, I mean, we will still buy another Fallout, even though they took a shit with 76.
Like, trying to fix it with Wastelanders.
I feel like that was just them folding to the pressure to try to make some sort of MMO, Yeah,
and them failing.
And so they just kind of crapped out a half-hearted version. They're like, "Fine, shut up. Here it is. Go away."
Well, they are trying to fix it with the new Wastelanders patch or whatever it is. I'm gonna try playing it and see if it's any good, but that's still a few days away.
If you guys want to play it, I'm down. We can party up or whatever. That could be fun.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's cheap right now anyway, because it's so bad.
Of course, no one wants it.
Yeah.
I'm
inclined to maybe put Command and Conquer Remake second, since we're fans of the series. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I'd be fine with that.
I think it should go third. We should put a bigger game like either Cyberpunk or Last of Us 2 before that remake. I feel bad about having a straight remastering as a number two spot.
That's fair. Last of Us 2 does make sense.
Okay.
Hotly anticipated.
Although I'm going to wait for the reviews to see how the story... I've been screwed on story so many times. Borderlands 3. That story... The game is just as fun as ever. The story is... garbage. That writing staff... Oh. Let me not get into the garbage writing of Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I did not hear good things. I wasn't a big fan of the other ones anyway, to be completely honest.
Heresy.
So I slotted Command and Conquer in at number 3. We can always bump it. I assume I mean, I don't care about the series, but Persona 6, I'm sure, is hotly anticipated because I know people love
Honorable
Persona
mention it right
5.
now.
Okay.
I know how you guys
So,
feel about it, or
sh-
lack of
sh-
feeling, should I say. You're,
Yeah, but if you feel strongly about something,
it doesn't have a solid release date, so I'm not going to fight for it being on this list.
maybe we should put Cyberpunk in at number 3 because I think we all might play that, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'd put it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
wait for the reviews again. I've been burned by too many series, but it does look awesome.
It does. It really does. And they've been talking about it for a while too.
And the whole
they have.
cyberpunk genre is just pretty epic overall. Steampunk, it's hit or miss. Cyberpunk usually good even at its worst.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
I
I
mean,
do like.
even the worst Deus Ex series, that's the name of the series I was forgetting earlier. Even the worst one of those games is still infinitely better than most games.
What else? I'm looking at Final Fantasy VII. I'm looking at Diablo 4. I'm looking at Breath of the Wild 2, even though I don't have a Switch.
I think
Uh,
the remake of Seven, as much as it annoys me, it might be come out in parts. I'm still excited about it overall.
That really is going to suck if they part it out, though.
yeah, especially if they pay
That's
for each
cruddy.
one. That
That's
is
why
cruddy.
it's not higher on the list. If it was the full story, I could I could probably advocate it for it being higher in those lists. But since they're probably going to parse it out in parts, no.
But I keep Command
Four
and
is
Conquer
the
at
best you
4.
get. Or yeah, put Command and Conquer before it. Screw the game for now, okay? Put it at 5.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Um, I'm looking forward to that. I would play
I would play
retelling.
it.
Yeah, I'd replay that.
Yeah, be fun. Graphical updates. Probably the online play might give me some of the Battlefield feeling back, but who knows?
Any love for Diablo? Diablo 4?
I wasn't the biggest fan of 3, but I did like 2, so 4 could win me back.
I'll leave it off for now. So I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at 6. What else we got? Disintegration, Valorant looks pretty good. I don't know anything about Into the Water. Rainbow Six Quarantine. I don't know.
Don't know anything about them. I just know overall they're just average games, all the Rainbow Sixes. Sorry, Bill. Never excited for a
I just
Rainbow
like
Six.
I just like the different take that they took on shooters because, at the time everybody's putting out these fast paced, Call of Duty and Battlefield and stuff, everything just blowing up. And Rainbow Six did the tactical side, which I really appreciated. It was
Yeah.
kind of a slower pace, work your way into a building kind of thing. It was just something different.
They had some
amongst a bunch of
RTS
shooters that are the
elements,
same,
or
Yeah.
they had like tactical elements, like tactical RPGs. I can get behind it, but overall, I can't say I'm excited for it.
I may buy a Switch to play Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I might put that at number 7.
that's good.
I could even be talked into
I might
bumping it
convince
up.
my wife to get a Switch. I think I saw an ad for a cheap Switch on Facebook, and I sent to her like hint, hint, hint. I was actually, we've both been talking about it, but we're like, our daughter is too young, but we can have fun with it if for the right price.
Right price. All right, so we're at number 8. So there's a new Elder Scrolls. Did I hear you mention that, Brian? That's coming out?
Yeah, it has an earlier release date. It actually, as you said, the coronavirus, I think, is fucking with all the release dates, but it had a release date that probably got pushed back. I'm also
That should definitely make the list then.
yeah. I mean, it could be crap, but probably not if Skyrim's their standard.
So is this Elder Scrolls 3? Is that where we are in the chronology? I mean, like,
It's
technically...
6. It's
Oh,
6.
6. Okay.
Skyrim was 5.
Well, I mean, does that count as a... Like, Fallout 76 isn't technically Fallout 5, but it's the 5th installment in the
No,
universe.
No.
technically
No, I think it had
Skyrim
the-
is numbered
Skyrim
5.
had the number on it.
I don't know
Before
that.
that was Oblivion, then I believe Morrowind, And
Yeah.
I didn't play any game before that, so there was a 1 and 2 for that.
I like Morrowind. I'm kind of excited about Baldur's Gate 3, to be
Okay,
honest.
yeah. Nostalgia factor. Could be good. Could
Do we
also be
put that in
dog shit.
as... Yeah, do you think that's an honorable mention?
At least, or it could make the list if you feel strongly.
What game again?
Baldur's Gate. I would rather
Oh,
have Diablo on there than Baldur's Gate, personally.
I would rather have Baldur's Gate because we haven't had a Baldur's Gate, and as I said, I was not the biggest fan of Diablo 3. Sorry,
Yeah.
I played it for a bit, I had fun, but something about it just was lacking.
Baldur's Gate 3 is number 9, and Valorant is number 10. I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with Valorant. I think you're
No.
not. We talked about it earlier.
Well, explain it to us again. You probably did it earlier, but
So it's kind of like Overwatch, how you have your
okay, yeah, you
class.
did mention it. The one that's like Borderlands or Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch, but with more shooting instead of having some characters that are essentially using magic or a hammer. Everyone has a gun, but then you also have like certain abilities. I don't know. It could be interesting. War Owl, apparently, who's a YouTuber that pretty much only plays Counter Strike, is kind of snobby about it, actually. So obviously, I like him. Uh,
Of course.
he has the beta and he's been playing it. He said it looks good. So I don't know. I could take that as an honorable mention as well. I really don't. Any of those indie games you're especially excited for, Brian?
No, they both look good. I mean, all three of them look good that I mentioned. What about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2?
I would put Rainbow Six on there before I'd put that personally,
Yeah,
No, because you
just because I'm
guys don't
hoping it.
know about
I think you
Vampire the
should check.
Masquerade guides.
I think you guys should check out the Rainbow Six, the quarantine one, because it's different. The gameplay looks different. It's got a different take and
Okay,
darker
put it
feel
on.
on it.
I'm not
Like
against
yeah,
Rainbow Six in theory.
it's something I wasn't even really aware of until I started searching. And I was like, interesting.
Okay, put it as 10, and we'll decide on honorable mentions.
It's in there. All right, so I'm just gonna run over the list again. We can make sure we feel good about everything, and then I can go over what we have in as honorable mentions. So, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Baldur's Gate 3, Elder Scrolls 6, a lot of love for the RPGs on here. Breath of the Wild 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, Final Fantasy 7 Remastered, Command and Conquer Remastered. And so Bill's right. This sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
A significant chunk of this list is remastered.
Yep.
Surprisingly enough, only one open world game, Cyberpunk, and I feel like everything's open world nowadays.
Well, what do you mean? Like Fallout, Elder
Oh,
Scrolls?
right, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, yeah. Okay, never mind. So Cyberpunk, Last of Us 2, Fallout 5. On the honorable mention list, let me get these two off here. Valorant, Into the Water, Eastward, Diablo 4, Disintegration, Samurai Jack. I'm just going to punt. Um,
You can drop into the waters out of that also.
oh, I forgot about Vampire Masquerade.
That should make the honorable mention. I would drop Eastward word before then.
Did look kind of neat. I'm going to leave Diablo 4 on there because fuck you guys. Uh,
It's fine.
Doot, doot, doot.
It could be good. From what you're saying,
Yeah,
it
call
sounds
me
like a
El
better step
Diablo.
in the right direction.
El Diablo. I need like maracas. Ha ha! Yeah, I don't hate this list. Obviously, again, my 1 through 9 would be Diablo 4, and then Baldur's Gate would probably be 10. But I'll leave it alone.
Well, you have the disservice of announcing the list, Mike. Even if it's not the list you would pick up.
And so, for BBM's top 10 most anticipated upcoming video games, your definitive list is as follows. Number 10, Rainbow Six Quarantine. Number 9, Baldur's Gate 3. Coming in at number 8, Elder Scrolls 6. Number 7, Breath of the Wild 2. Number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Number 5, Final Fantasy 7 Remastered. Number 4, Command & Conquer Remastered. Number 3, Cyberpunk 2077. You're all breathtaking. Number 2, Last of Us 2. Honorable mentions, Valorant, Vampire Masquerade, Diablo 4, Disintegration, and our most anticipated game is going to be Fallout 5. Or Fallout 6, depending on whether or not you count 76 as an entry.
That's
no, I think it's going to be Fallout 5.
Yes. Yeah. And Final Fantasy's remake, not remastered. They actually had to make a game from scratch. But details.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. So is anything going to be different in the story?
Oh, we'll have to wait until it's out to find out. I hear there might be minor changes made. I wonder if they're going to not have Cloud in a dress scene infiltrating whatever the douchebag's name is. But we'll probably get more into speculation on that on our Final Fantasy remake. Well, Final Fantasy 7/remake podcast. So look out for that. We'll be recording it soon, but you won't hear it until Friday. Can't hear you, Mike, but I will take us out. Well, thank you for joining us for this Top 10 Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed our list or extremely disliked it. In that case, hit the dislike button and leave a comment down below. Until next time, have fun in whatever time of day you're at.